Jaguar Wright is once again riding with Katt Williams after his wild prediction about Diddy's sentence actually hit the mark. But the real question is, could Diddy really be an FBI snitch about to walk free? Even crazier, how did Katt call Diddy's arrest years before it happened? Now Jaguar's out here dropping bombshells while Diddy's legal team scrambles to silence her fast. Word on the street is Diddy's already got a petition in motion and is aiming to step out of jail as soon as next month.
If the defense in the Diddy case gets its way, Diddy could be a free man next month, because they have filed a massive document basically setting out their position. And their position is that what he was convicted of amounts to nothing more really than an orgy.
Orgies. Yes, that he had orgies. Big deal. Is kind of the tone of the documents that they filed, and they, make their case for him. If you're going to convict him, that this should be a very lenient sentence.
So what they're asking for is this. They are saying, look, he was found not guilty on all the serious charges: racketeering, fraud, force, coercion, rape, all of those found not guilty. He wasn't charged with rape, but it was part of the force issue. The only thing he's left with is the Mann Act, which is taking a prostitute across state lines and paying them for sex. What they're saying is, what that is worth is 14 months in prison and then supervised release for some period thereafter.
Now, we should say that this is what they are, right. Diddy's team is suggesting to the judge. The prosecutors are on the far other end of the spectrum, where they're saying he should get somewhere between 4 to 5 years. That would, I'm sure, include time served. Again, he's been in for a year now.
I gotta say,
that would be
that would be throwing the book at him for a Mann Act violation. If he gets 14 months, if the defense gets what they want, he'd essentially get out October 3rd, because
he's been in for a year,
months. And you get 15% credit for time served. So he'd basically be out after the sentence, and then he'd be unsupervised.
Katt first hinted at Diddy's parties almost 21 years ago. Before the FBI even knew what Diddy was doing, Katt Williams knew, and he talked about it at his shows. Every major celebrity in the industry knew about it, but they stayed quiet because they knew that if Diddy was investigated, they would be implicated too. Katt paid for this information. Every time there was a whisper or a rumor, Katt would look into it, and soon he had dirt on everyone.
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expect it. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and shit. Come here. Is that two niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas Professor Obi?
So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. Because Katt Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Katt Williams, who's a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. And he said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side, and then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties, to basically be sodomized. And he turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To bring his career.
After these celebrities realized what Katt knew, they tried to buy him and offered him millions of dollars. Katt said no every time. Finally, in 2024, a few months before the raid on Diddy's mansions began, Katt revealed it all. Keep in mind that Diddy was being awarded the key to the city during this time. No one could have expected that Diddy, the face of Hollywood, was this disgusting. Katt revealed everything. And 2 months later, when the FBI broke down Diddy's door, just go after Diddy, he exposed everyone: politicians, celebrities, and even pastors. If you were working with Diddy and doing something illegal, Katt had things to say. During that episode of Club Shay, Katt Williams revealed how no one in Hollywood was innocent, and people were being paid hundreds of millions of dollars to stay quiet. The only reason Katt stayed quiet for so long was because he was afraid for the safety of his children.
Okay, you cool, man? How you doing
I'm
tonight,
cooler than a fan. They took my children from me.
Yeah, I mean,
how terrible is that?
I did want to ask. The cops, allegedly found some guns and.
Yeah, they always find guns. I never leave without my girlfriend. I'm on the middle of an interview, sir.
Sorry about. They found guns and drugs. Now, is
drugs?
That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no drugs. Weed is not a drug.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's safe for kids to be around guns and stuff like that? I mean, I'm just curious.
How do you keep this kid safe without guns? They were in a lockbox that the police broke.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm saying if the police come in and raid my place and break into my gun boxes, you're gonna find guns. But these aren't. Well, I'm not in a gang. What difference does it make?
Now, you were actually stopped for this and let go. Because you have a license for it,
No,
right?
this is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office. Not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office,
that's an issue.
I must be the most terrible black dude. Because here's the whole thing. You're going to charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Because it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my babies? Yeah.
He taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. Back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
Wow.
In bed.
Katt isn't the only one being pressured to take money and stay quiet. Dave Chappelle was offered $100 million, but he said no. Oprah even asked him if he was crazy for not taking the money. But Dave told her that he knew that money would then be used to control him. After Dave said no, Oprah made fun of him. At the time, no one but Katt realized why Dave was doing this. But now, everything is becoming clear.
Popular Comedy Central show. Yeah. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking? That's a quote. Chappelle says he had or whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce.
Uh-huh.
And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Isn't that a great analogy?
What an analogy!
I know. He's very, very thoughtful and very, very smart.
After Katt, Diddy is doing everything he can to get out, and he's looking for revenge no matter what it takes. There are even reports that Diddy is pressuring the victims that testified at his trial to come and vouch for him. Young Miami, one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends, has submitted a letter to the judge asking for him to let Diddy out on bail. Keep in mind that Diddy named Young Miami as one of his adult workers during the trial.
Has wrote a letter to the judge asking him to free Diddy. And this is coming in a bombshell document where Diddy is claiming that the probation department who investigates and gives the report to the judge and the prosecution are both trying to maximize his sentence. Young Miami says, "I'm a mother, daughter, sister, and hip-hop artist who has spent many years in the public eye. I want to be clear that I cannot speak or defend anything that may have happened before I met Sean Combs, and I do not condone any wrongdoing. I can only speak on my experience and the man that I've known over the past 4 years. For 3 of those years, I was in a public relationship with Sean, and during that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one that's often portrayed. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive, and always encouraging. He motivated me, believed in me, and helped me grow both personally and professionally. He made the choice to check himself into anger management, start therapy, and commit physical healing through therapy. That takes strength, humility, and self-awareness. He did not do it for show. He did it because he wanted to grow and become a better person. In my personal experience, Sean is not a danger or a threat to the community. He is a man of God, someone who uplifts, supports, inspires those around him to be better mentally, physically.
The feds had enough evidence to send Diddy to jail. But Diddy still got out. Allegedly, this was because Diddy is an informant and cut some sort of deal with the government. Jaguar Wright said the same thing. The only reason Diddy was so loud with his crimes was because he knew nothing was going to happen even if he got arrested. And that's exactly what happened. There are even talks now about a presidential pardon.
And it's funny, because a lot of the people that's on tour with Katt are a lot of the people that was getting overlooked by Hollywood. And all of these Illuminati people. And you hear a lot of that. There's a lot of that being said. Oh, well, you know, people on the tour said it can't be acting up. And people on the tour said can't be hitting on, he be the women on the tour. People on the tour said, well, why did any of these people coming forward and saying it themselves? Other than Monique, apparently. And from what I heard, she didn't have a lot to say either. Did I go and listen to it? No, I didn't. I heard what other people had to say. Matter of fact, what did she say? I want to hear you say it.
So the clip that I personally saw, it was just, I kind of seen it through kind of like a third party, you know, the YouTube when they show stuff. But just, she was basically just trying to say like it's the, you know, the company he keeps and stuff like that, and he had to have something to do with it, pretty much.
Now, did she say that, or is that what somebody else said she said? And are we sure that that wasn't AI? Because I heard somebody come after her, saying that she was fronting on the whole situation and that she wasn't holding anybody accountable and that she was trying to make it seem like he died of natural causes when, you know, his life was taken.
Right. Well, you know, this YouTube and AI stuff is.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Because she was, you know, one instance, she's not saying anything, and now she's saying. Because what I think it is that everybody just wants to see him take an L on this one. And I'm just trying to figure out why. Why does everyone have such a vested interest in seeing Katt Williams take the fall for this or go down for this or be responsible for this or set it up or done this or done that? And the only thing that makes sense to me is oh, y'all want him to be bad because Diddy is still in jail. You know, Rock Nation is looking really bad, and all you Illuminati people, you know, you're all looking real bad right now. So y'all need the people that pointed it out to look even worse, don't you? You know, the one thing that Katt said on Shay Shay that it seems like everybody missed, especially now, was that the biggest job of people in the Illuminati is to pretend like none of it's real, to pretend like none of it happens, to keep the secret, to make it all seem like, oh no, that's not happening, that's not happening, that's not happening. Isn't that exactly what's happening now? Because all of that stuff was redacted, and because all of that stuff was kept off the record, and for whatever reason, the feds didn't present a lot of stuff that would have made sure that he was gone forever, rather than just being gone to November.
Suge Knight has said the same thing. Trump is planning to pardon Diddy, and that's what the feds were planning since day one. This trial was never going to end with Diddy going away. Evidence was buried, and despite the fact that almost a dozen women testified against Diddy, he's being allowed to go away. Suge Knight claims that Diddy fed information to the government and they allowed the go-on.
Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure, don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, But I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the president of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who was actually a Jewish teenager, or had him. So they don't care about that. It's all about, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what's the power of the people. He's going to go to prison. And if you do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is KPD. KPD been informant for a very, very long time. And KPD is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. KPD said it. Everybody else know it. And KPD says the money came from Puffy, the Tupac, and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, KPD would have cut a deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That'd have been the RICO right there. That'd have been high.
Gene. Deal has revealed that Diddy's rehab admission is just a PR stunt. Diddy just wants the judge to think he's changed. Every criminal does it before their sentencing. And allegedly, Diddy is hoping he's done enough to fool the judge. Bad mental health doesn't turn you into a monster that destroys lives for years and years. Diddy wants to get out, and he's ready to tell whatever lie it takes to.
The programs that he's doing is so he could appease the judge, so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still going to say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime. This is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense going to do? They're going to come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're going to put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing who did this crime. So now the judge going to look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report and decide what kind of time he's going to give them. But all that programming that he's doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class. They take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, he say, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're going to refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taking is to get him out of jail and nothing more. I don't give a flying F about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10, it usually helps.
Why is it that the president of the country is talking about pardoning an AS? There's a lot more going on behind the scenes.